Probably the biggest week of the season for you guys. Champions Cup quarterfinal, massive game against Northampton. You must be excited.
Really exciting. We just finished training now. That's why I'm a little bit late. But we had a good training session here in the wet. And I said to the guys that obviously we should expect weather like that where it's wet, a little bit windy, and you can't probably get out of your house. So it was actually a blessing for us to train in weather. The fact that it's raining here in Pretoria, so we got a taste of that. But with all the boys' experiences and like Akke van der Merwe, Valko, the boys who's played up north, I think it's good. Like they all sharing and giving input and where they can. So that's really special, but a really exciting week for us.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask. I mean, your time at Wasp, you would have played against Northampton before and played in difficult wet conditions. What do the guys need to change to be able to adapt and handle? I mean, you guys scored some amazing tries last weekend and throughout the season, but that you might have to rein things in a bit because of the conditions.
No, definitely. I think you're 100% spot on there, Ashfaq. I think we won't. I would love to see a tries scored like last week from where we basically ran from our own 22 or dead ball area with Kirtley and the boys like that. So I think if we can get that, that will be really really good for us and especially on the scoreboard. But I think as you mentioned, we're gonna have to be a little bit tighter. We can't pass big passes unless it's a miracle pass. So the ball is wet, so you got to sort of change your catching plan and things like that. And if it's windy, your kicking game changes. For example, if you are going to go long, if you are going to go contestable, or you're going to kick it out into the cheap seat. So all those plays a factor. Obviously, we've got some plans up our sleeves preparing for both type of games because as you guys have seen, I think we're always adding another string to the bow to maybe move the ball, kick the ball, play territory, or up with the forwards and stuff like that. So yeah.
And Northampton, I imagine you would have played against him before. What do you make of them and having watched the game at the weekend against Munster?
I think they're coming off a few good wins now. The games I especially watched was the one where they beat Saracens, and I mean, I've been up north and I've always lost the series. I think I've beaten them once out of the 7 times I've played them. So for them to, and I mean, series had the top team, the international players as well. So to put them away, I thought that was really impressive. And then last week, the Munster game, I thought they were really good. The variation on attack from defense, how they create the score, the points of the turnover ball. That is something that they're obviously known for and dangerous for. So we're gonna have to watch that. But playing against him, I think it's we, as I said before, if we sort of not make the game lose in any way, that will suit them. So I think we have to keep it tight and try and be a forward game or something like that because that's something that they not maybe looking forward to. But every time I've played them, you have to show a real toughness about your thing that you're doing on the day. Um, tackle after tackle, triple, four efforts that you have to get off the floor. And I guess against any team, they don't like that if you're up in their face the whole time. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
There's one more from Nizaam. The Leinster game obviously was a disappointing result, but you guys actually started well in the first half and you led at halftime, in fact. So, is it the case of just maintaining that intensity for the 80 minutes, especially when you're away from home and the conditions are difficult and the crowd gets involved and it's all emotional?
Yeah, as I think Jake also mentioned, like we started off well. There's a lot of positives that we could have taken out of that first half, which we did, and it was important for us to bounce back like we did last week. So with me, as fuck, we, and I think it's quite similar to the rest of the boys. They don't want to dwell too much in the past, but we did learn from that. Especially, we call it here the finishers, not the reserve. So when you come onto the pitch, you basically need to close out the game or change the pace or improve on what we have been doing in the first half. So that is where we start. We not start. We need to be better and start to be more clinical in that sense. Because I mean they brought even better players on in the second half, or they starting international players that didn't play too long ago. In that specific game, I thought they were like 2 or 3 weeks ago that they played for Ireland, so they're still in that mindset of their resilience, and I think that is what we just need to sharpen on. I'm not saying it's not there, but we just need to sharpen on that, especially the guys bringing on that impact and changing the game or making an impact off the bench.
Hi, yeah, sure. Um, just wanted to know from you, Nizam, one loss in the past 8 games. How do you explain that good form right now you're in?
I think it couldn't have maybe happened to us at a better time rather than somewhere in a final or a semi-final or something like that. So I think it came at a good time where it's just for the boys to tighten up a little bit, because sometimes you can take advantage of going into the game where things is going to happen. Um, so I think that loss probably shook a lot of boys and made us hunger again, and like how desperate we are when we first started the season and stuff like that. So I think it couldn't have happened at a better time, but it, like as I mentioned before, we definitely looked into it, how we can better ourselves, and because this old cliche is the business end of the competition, so we need to be more clinical, and when we do get our 22-meter entries, we need to finish either by 3 points or 5 points, 7 points, convert our try, and then obviously try and exit well after that.
You spent quite a few seasons and played plenty of games at Wasps in England. And what are your memories of playing there? And is there like a game that stands out, or like a moment you think, wow, that was pretty crazy?
Um, no, it's been nothing short of absolutely amazing. The first day I arrived there, it was really fantastic. I think the first start I got, it was in the Prem, where I won man of the match against Leicester Tigers. I think that one stands out the most. But also played a number of times against Saints, and they've always been tough home and away. As I said, the interplay, the way they want to move the ball, and I know they have sort of a mindset of the quickest ruck is no ruck, so they want to keep that ball alive, play to the edges. So if we can stop that, you know, try and be physically dominant like we know we can be, I think it's going to be a good day for us. But I really enjoyed it there. A lot of the people said that I wouldn't have fun because it's wet and greasy and the ball's wet and you don't want to, so it's cold, it's freezing. But it's actually the opposite. I had one of the best times in such a short time in my career, and I will always look back and appreciate that time.
Just I mentioned on someone like Curtly Arensa, he had a decent game on the weekend. What's he like to play alongside, knowing that if you make a break, he's going to be there on your inside shoulder?
Yeah. Or if I said, actually, just funny enough, I said to him last week, or after the game, I said to him, Curtly, I'm so happy when I play with you, because as a loose forward and a guy who's getting a little bit older now, I used to chase after him, but now just wait on the one side of the wing because I know he's gonna make a line break one side and the ball will eventually get here. So that is, you know, uh, the niceness playing with Kirtley. And also the nice thing is, whenever he gets a ball, always make sure you're on his shoulder, because he's always beating 2 or 3 players, not one, always two. So he's always looking for that offload. He doesn't want to die with the ball, and I can mention a lot of other boys as well, Kanan Moody, David Creel, they're always looking for that offload. So that's sort of the things I like to attack from is a support play, and I base my game, big time on support play. So always be on the shoulder, on the faster guys.
You mentioned about needing to be physical this weekend and showing a bit of physicality. Northampton's back row include Courtney Laws and Lewis Lidlam, probably two of the most physical players in English rugby. Have you got memories of playing against them in the past, and what do you expect from them this weekend?
I remember Courtney Laws hitting or tackling me on my hip flexes, and I couldn't run after that, so I had to go off. So that's not a good memory I have of him tackling me, but I know how physical he is. But what an absolute legend, same as Ludlam. He's played a few England caps as well. Real tough, fights it out to the end. Really fit, and he pushes his body and he puts his head, sort of in the dark places where not any normal rugby player wants to do. But yeah, so if we can sort of stay away from those guys and of them getting over the ball for poaching, it will be a good day for us.
One last one for me. You're practicing Muslim, one of the rare Muslims to play rugby. How's Ramadan going right now, and are you looking forward to Eid happening tomorrow or on Wednesday?
Yeah, no, really excited. It's unfortunately my family's gonna travel down to Cape Town and spend the rest of their time or their Eid with the family. So I'm missing out on all the nice food, the nice desserts and drinks and stuff like that. So I am a bit sad regarding that, but on the other hand, I'm really excited to obviously join the team and travel with them and things like that. So yeah, Ramadan's been different for me because we did a lot of traveling, few games in the fast as well. So usually for me, as you probably read somewhere already, my faith is really important to me. So I like to go to as much as I can to mosque during the night and things like that after training. And this year I couldn't do it because we've been overseas, we've come back, we had to traveling now again. So it's been a little bit tough. I've also lost some weight, which is a good thing because I was a little bit getting chubbier. So I actually need Ramadan every year just to trim or slim the body down. So yeah, I really different Ramadan for me, but one that I still enjoyed.
One last question I forgot. You boys you're used to traveling quite a bit now, coming up to Europe for games in the URC or the Champions Cup. This weekend it was a bit shorter preparation, maybe. What do you make of having to get on a flight every other weekend to go travel 20 hours, etc., for a game? How do you find it?
Yeah, we as a leadership group as well as the coaching staff, we actually spoke about that. It's something that was completely out of our control. But we said that if there are boys within their circles and things like that talking about the travel is not the nicest or complaining about this, we just need to shut it out because those type of things is going to creep obviously into our game, the way we train, and then obviously into our performances. So we already tackled that. And as I said, we don't have any control over that. We just, whether we fly 48 hours, 20 hours, 10 hours, we're ready to get on that plane and just give our best on Saturday.
Nizaam, thank you for confirming that your ticket is booked on a plane going to Northampton Saints. That helps. Taking into account the disadvantages that the Bulls at this stage have with, I think it's 8 flights that you must travel to, or travel to get to Northampton. How do you motivate yourself? Because I mean, anybody that's got a little bit of brains would say you are at a great disadvantage with all the lack of organizing and everything.
No, it's extremely tough. I mean, just I think a week ago we came back from also 2 long flights and then also a little bit of a layover. But you know what the funny thing is, like we're quite used to that. So anything less than 2 flights is a bonus for us. So it's a real difficult thing, and it's something that I can't say much about it because we just want to be the humble boys and do our job. We're here to play rugby, and I know we probably maybe could travel better, or I don't know, but as I said before, it's really out of our control, and we just want to take the humble route. And horrible, it's horrible inside, but you can't show it in a team sport or in a team environment, because energies are really important in team environments, and you don't want to rub off the bad or the wrong energy to the next guy, because then it just carries on. Eventually it will lead up to the coach, and then we're going to spend 30-40 minutes talking about that. And it's not the best, um, but I still feel grateful to be part of the, any travel party to go overseas. It's something special. It's nice memories that you build, and if you can get the win overseas, it's even better, because that builds team culture.
The forever gentleman, I hate you for that. I was looking for some nasty stuff, but congratulations. And yeah, we're rooting for you guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Carl. Awesome.
In terms of the Bulls loose trio, you guys have been going great guns, no matter if you have injuries or guys having to come in at the last moment. Just in terms of the balance there, how do you see it going on Saturday in terms of what you need to do as a loose trio? I know you've come off the bench sometimes and started sometimes, but yeah, just to have to be able to cover the different roles.
No, I think I think we're gonna probably have another good flexibility of physicality, line out options, boys that can steal the ball, and I think we're all complementing each other. And I think that is how Jake is selecting his team around that. We're not only choosing guys that can obviously just do one job, Ashfaq. We need people that can steal, make a line break, do support lines, offload, jump in the line out. So I think if we can have all those attributes to the Lucy's playing on Saturday, I think it's going to be a really good day for us, and hopefully it's going to be tough for Saints.
Thanks, Nizam, and Eid Mubarak for tomorrow. Hopefully your travels are safe and you have a good day there.
Baie shukran. Shukran.